Have you ever wondered why, even when the body is exhausted, the mind insists on staying tuned? Why do you lie down tired, close your eyes, but your brain just doesn't obey? Maybe you think it's stress, anxiety, excessive thinking, or even a lack of discipline when it comes to sleeping. But there is a silent factor, present every day, that your brain has never learned to ignore. A common, seemingly harmless light that tricks the mind, confuses the biological clock, and keeps the body in a state of constant alert. And the scariest thing is that almost no one realizes they are being affected by it. We live surrounded by light. Light when waking up, light when working, light when resting, light until the last second before bed. This continued exposure created a false sense of normalcy, but the human brain was not wired for that. For thousands of years, light meant day, activity, movement, survival. Darkness meant pause, rest, safety. The problem is that today this logic has been broken. The brain continues to function as it always has, but the environment has changed radically, and he still reacts as if he were being threatened. You may be tired, exhausted, without any energy, but your brain thinks it's still daytime. He gets mixed signals all the time. The body asks for rest, but the mind receives alert stimuli. This light that never goes out directly interferes with the brain's natural processes, messes with hormones, alters sleep, and impacts emotions in a profound way. The result appears the next day: difficulty focusing, irritation for no reason, a feeling of constant tiredness, failing memory, and a restlessness that is difficult to explain. Perhaps you have already felt this without knowing the cause. That feeling of lying down and turning from one side to the other, the sleep that doesn't arrive, or arrives shallow, fragmented, or waking up more tired than when you went to sleep. Many people believe that this is part of modern life, that it is normal to be tired, but it's not. The brain is in conflict, trying to interpret signals that don't make sense to its biology. And this light, present every day, continues to send the same message: stay alert, don't rest, don't turn off. The most intriguing thing is that this light does not cause immediate pain. It acts silently, accumulatively. Little by little, you train your brain to ignore natural resting signals. It teaches the mind that there is no longer a safe time to slow down. This generates a state of constant vigilance, as if the brain is always waiting for something to happen. Over time, this state transforms into chronic tiredness, high stress, and a permanent feeling of mental overload. And when someone talks about it, many people instantly identify with it, even without understanding exactly why. Because the problem is not just in the body, but in the way the brain interprets the surrounding environment. The light that should be just a detail turns into a powerful command. A command that the brain never learned to ignore. And the more exposed we are, the harder it becomes to notice that something is wrong. Perhaps as you watch this video, that same light is present all around you. It may already be influencing your thoughts, your level of attention, and even the way you feel right now. And most importantly, if this is happening to you, it's not weakness, it's not a lack of control, it's not your fault. It's the brain reacting exactly as it was programmed to react. But what happens when that stimulus never goes away? This is exactly what we need to understand next. What if all of this you're feeling isn't just accumulated tiredness, but a clear sign that something in your environment is constantly stimulating your brain without you even realizing it? Because the great danger of this light that the brain never learned to ignore is exactly this. It becomes invisible. It doesn't draw attention. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't let you know when it's making an impact. It's simply there every day, shaping your energy levels, your sleep quality, your mood, and even the way you react to the world. Maybe as you listen to this, something is making sense for the first time. Perhaps you are remembering bad nights, difficult mornings, irritation that arises for no clear reason, or that constant feeling of being tired, even without having made much effort. If this is happening to you, know that you are not alone. Many people live exactly like this, thinking that this state is normal, when in fact it is the brain trying to survive in an environment that it no longer recognizes as safe to rest. And now I want to hear from you. It makes sense? Did you identify with any part of this? Write the word light here in the comments if at any point you felt that this video described your reality. I make a point of reading the comments because that's where we understand how many people are going through the same thing, often in silence. Your comment also helps this video reach more people who need this information, but still don't know how to explain what they are feeling. If this content is opening your eyes, leave a like now. The like is not just support for the channel, it is a signal to the platform that this topic is relevant, that more people need to hear about it. Sometimes a simple click makes someone understand why they can't sleep, why they're tired, or why they feel like their brain never turns off. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel now, because here we talk about what no one explains properly, about the invisible stimuli that affect your mind, your body, and your routine without you realizing it. By subscribing, you won't miss the next videos, which will delve into exactly how this light acts on the brain, why it interferes so much with sleep, concentration, and emotions, and what you can start observing in your daily life to better understand these signs. This is content that is built little by little, and each video is an important piece of this puzzle. So comment, like, subscribe, and stay with me. Because now that you know that there is a light that your brain never learned to ignore, the next step is to understand how it really works inside your mind, and why the effects go far beyond what most people imagine. Even when the body wants to rest, the brain receives the opposite signal. He understands this light as a warning, and this happens because the human brain works based on very ancient patterns, biological patterns that have been shaped over thousands of years. For the brain, light has always meant day, movement, attention, action. Darkness has always meant pause, recovery, internal silence. The problem begins when this natural logic is broken and the brain starts to receive light stimuli at times when it should slow down. This modern, constant, and artificial light does not speak to human biology, but the brain does not know that. He just reacts. When this light reaches the eyes, the information is not just visible. It goes straight to deep areas of the brain responsible for the circadian rhythm, the biological clock that regulates sleep, wakefulness, energy, and recovery. The brain interprets this light as a clear command. It is not time to switch off yet. Even if the body is tired, even if the muscles ask for rest, the mind enters a state of vigilance. It's as if the brain is tricked daily into believing that it needs to remain active, attentive, available. Over time, this starts to completely mess up your sleep. The brain starts to delay or block natural relaxation signals. The difficulty in falling asleep increases. Sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and rest is no longer deep. Many people sleep, but do not rest. They wake up with the feeling that their mind has been working all night. This doesn't happen by chance. It's the brain receiving alert stimuli at the wrong time, over and over again, until this pattern becomes normal for it. And the impact doesn't stop with sleep. Emotions are also directly affected. A brain that doesn't rest as it should goes into emotional imbalance much more easily. Irritation arises for no clear reason. Patience decreases. Anxiety intensifies. Small problems seem too big. This happens because the tired brain loses part of its ability to regulate emotions. He goes into reactive mode, responding faster to stress and with less emotional control. Often the person thinks they have changed, that they are more nervous or sensitive, when in fact it is the brain struggling to remain functional. Hormones also suffer from this constant exposure to light. The brain regulates the release of hormones essential for the body's balance, such as those linked to sleep, stress, and well-being. When light sends the wrong signals, this hormonal release happens out of turn. The body starts producing alert hormones when it should be producing recovery hormones. The result is an organism that is always accelerating, even when there is no real threat. This creates accumulated tiredness, a feeling of constant tension and difficulty relaxing even during moments of rest. Attention and memory also enter this cycle of impairment. A brain that never completely shuts down begins to lose efficiency. Concentration becomes unstable. The mind is easily distracted. Memory fails on simple everyday things. Many people report forgetting words, appointments, and important details, and attribute this to excessive tasks or age. But in many cases, the problem lies in the quality of brain rest. Without real breaks, the brain cannot consolidate information or restore its ability to focus. All this happens because the human brain did not evolve to deal with this type of constant stimulus. For most of human history, light naturally disappeared at sunset. The brain knew exactly when to slow down. Today, the light not only remains, it intensifies. Screens, lamps, lit environments until late at night. The brain interprets all of this as an artificial extension of the day. He does not understand that this light does not represent safety or real activity. For him, light is command, and command means action. The most worrying thing is that this process happens silently. There is no clear warning that something is wrong. The brain simply adapts, even if this adaptation is harmful. He learns to function tired. He learns to ignore signs of exhaustion. He learns to survive on constant alert. And the longer this goes on, the harder it becomes to understand the source of the problem. Light is no longer perceived as a stimulus and becomes part of the scene, while the effects continue to accumulate. Maybe you're starting to realize that many things in your everyday life make more sense now. That difficulty in turning off your mind, the feeling that your brain never stops, the tiredness that doesn't go away even when you sleep. All of this is connected. And before moving on, I want to hear you. If any part of this describes what you experience, comment below phrases like, "My brain won't turn off," "I wake up tired," or simply, "That makes sense." Also write the word alert if you feel that your brain lives in a state of constant attention. Your comment is very important because it shows that this subject needs to be talked about and helps this video reach more people who are experiencing exactly this without understanding why. When this constant exposure to light begins to be repeated every day, the impact is no longer just biological and starts to be experienced in practice, in the simplest routine. Waking up tired becomes normal. Not the tiredness of someone who slept little one night, but a deep accumulated tiredness, as if the body had never had a real chance to recover. You open your eyes and feel the weight of the day before it even begins. The brain wakes up on alert, as if it is late, as if something needs to be resolved immediately, even when there is no real urgency. This happens because during the night, it never completely turned off. The lack of enthusiasm appears soon after. Activities that were once simple begin to require excessive effort. Getting out of bed, starting work, carrying on a conversation, everything seems to require more energy than it should. Many people confuse this with laziness, lack of motivation, or even a lack of purpose. But in reality, it's the brain operating above its threshold for too long. A brain that doesn't rest loses its ability to generate enthusiasm. It goes into economy mode, conserving energy for getting through the day, not living through the day. Over the hours, this state manifests itself in other ways. The mind is accelerated, but unproductive. Thoughts accumulate, concentration fluctuates, and the feeling of always running behind time intensifies. Even in moments of pause, the brain does not relax. He remains attentive, switched on, as if expecting a stimulus at any moment. This is the basis of silent anxiety, which is not accompanied by obvious crises, but manifests itself as constant tension, internal restlessness, and difficulty being present. The most dangerous thing about this process is that it becomes part of the person's identity. She starts to define herself as someone tired, anxious, unfocused. You start to believe that this is your way of being, but it's not. It's the result of a brain that has learned, day after day, that there is no safe time to switch off. Constant light teaches the brain that rest is never complete, that vigilance is permanent, and this shapes behaviors, emotions, and even the way a person sees themselves. In everyday life, this is reflected in small choices. The person seeks more stimuli to stay awake, more screens, more distractions, more information consumption. All of this further reinforces the cycle. The more stimulation, the more alert. The more alert, the less rest. And the less rest, the more dependent the brain becomes on these external stimuli to function. It's a silent, but extremely powerful cycle that grows stronger precisely because it seems normal. Perhaps you have already noticed this in yourself, that feeling of never being completely relaxed. Even in moments of rest, something inside you remains agitated. The body stops, but the mind continues to function. This doesn't happen because you think too much or because you don't know how to relax. It happens because the brain has been trained to interpret constant light as a sign of continuity, activity, and alertness. He no longer clearly distinguishes when to stop, and when this goes on for months or years, the effects deepen. I gave tiredness. It stops being just physical and becomes mental and emotional. Anxiety stops being episodic and becomes a constant background. Life goes on, but with a continuous feeling of effort. Everything requires more than it should. Everything weighs more, and few people stop to question the origin of this because the light has always been there, being part of the environment, as if it had no influence whatsoever. But the problem is not just the light. That's how much she's teaching her brain to never turn off. It's how much it shapes your internal rhythm, your perception of safety, your ability to rest, And the more you understand this, the more you begin to realize that there is something deeply wrong with normalizing this constant state of alert. There is a limit that the brain respects, even when the routine does not respect it. And when this limit is repeatedly exceeded, the signs begin to appear more and more clearly. If all of this is making sense to you, I want you to join now. At the end of this video, comment below on phrases like "my brain never turns off," "I'm tired," or "now I understand." You can also just write the word "awaken" if you feel like this content is opening your eyes to something you had never noticed before. Your comment is essential to strengthen this conversation and show that this topic needs to continue. Because from here, the next step is understanding how to break this cycle and what really happens when the brain finally finds space to shut down